Hey bag ladies and bag dudes, today I'm going to be talking about how I organize my purse hardware, the True Bias Hudson pant. I'll be showing my Kennedy bag. The new fabrics in the stash are Primavera fabrics from Hawthorne Threads. The book review will be for Child's Play Quilts. I'll be doing a demo on how to add a luggage sleeve to any bag, and there's a great giveaway at the end. I'm Sarah Lawson from Sew Sweetness. Thanks so much for joining me for Sewcial Sunday, my weekly sewing chat. Hey everyone, thanks so much for spending your Sunday with me. I saw a lot of bag ladies and bag dudes in the chat on Facebook and YouTube before we got started. So hello to Nicole, hi to Kathy, hi Fran. Thanks so much everyone for joining me. So just as a friendly reminder, just about everything that I talk about during Sewcial Sunday are things that I've purchased myself. These are not things that I'm getting paid to talk about, but they're just cool things that I found that I'd like to share with you. So most of the things that I'm scheduled to talk about, I'm linking to in the description. So if you're interested in finding out more about any of the fabrics, notions, books, whatever that I talk about, just check that link in the description and you can find a list of the products and links to find out more. So my favorite part of the chat is the notions portion, and this week, kind of in lieu of showing you a notion, I wanted to show how I organize my purse hardware. So I pulled this heavy organizer up on the table. This is how I organize all my purse hardware. I found this at the hardware store, but you can find similar organizers. I have a link in the description with tons of different styles of organizers just like this with different size drawers and whatnot, just in case you're looking for something in particular. But this is how I personally organize my hardware, and I've got all these neon labels with the type of hardware that I have stored in each drawer listed on here. So for instance, this drawer marked 1-inch buckles. I've got all of my buckles in here. So they're all labeled, easy to find. There's a big drawer on the bottom. So this is how I organize the hardware. I used to just keep it in bags in a shoebox, and that got kind of cumbersome. And I like this organizer because it's kind of vertical, and so it's handy to either keep on the floor or on a desk, and it doesn't take up a lot of desk space because it's kind of slim. I think it's about 5 inches wide, so not taking up a lot of space, really handy. So let me know how you organize your purse hardware, if you have a really cool organizer that you found. I hope you'll post a photo of it in the Facebook group. If you're not already a member of the Facebook group, the link's in the description, and I hope you'll join the group. Post your photo, as well as if you've made any Sew Sweetness projects, you can post your photos of your finished projects there, and I love seeing them, as do the members of the group. So that's how I organize my hardware. As far as sewing projects that I completed this week, Violet and I actually made a pair of pants today. So these are the True Bias Hudson pants, and let me show you in the side view so you can see the cute fabrics that we use. So Violet chose this Disney-inspired fabric from Backstitch Fabrics. It's got a lot of characters that you might be familiar with from Disney. Sword in the Stone. These guys are from Monsters, Inc., and we use sort of a royal blue rib knit for the waistband and for the cuffs on the bottom of the pants. So these pants took about an hour to make. I used my serger for the pants, but you can use a regular sewing machine, and there are in fact instructions in the sewing pattern on how to use a sewing machine. Violet had a lot of fun working on these with me, and I have to admit, there's a funny story about that, our collaboration today. So I pulled my serger out of the basement when we renovated the first floor of our house back in October. I put 2 machines down there, my serger and my cover stitch machine. So this was the first time I used the serger since then. It was a little bit dusty, so I had to dust it off and make sure it was oiled. And something happened between bringing it to the basement and taking it back up again. So the power cord doesn't have a strong connection, so when I tried to plug it in, the machine did not stay on. So Violet actually had to hold the cord into the machine in a particular spot the whole entire time that I was using it, just so that the machine would work. So I've been thinking about getting a new serger for 1 or 2 years, and I took that as a sign that it was finally time to get the new serger. So my current serger is a Brother 1034D. I got it when William was a baby, so over 10 years ago. It's about a $150 machine, so pretty economical. and it worked fine. It was just loud, but otherwise it worked fine. I had no other complaints about it. But I decided to get the Juki air threader serger that I've been thinking about getting. So this machine basically threads the serger itself, and that's why I wanted it. And I'm a big fan of Juki machines anyway, so I called my friend Anita in Columbus, Ohio. She sells Juki machines in her quilt shop, and I asked if I could order that machine. So if you're interested in seeing which machine that I purchased, links in the description to Anita's shop and that particular machine. I found her pricing to be good and lower than other places that I looked when I was looking for that Juki air threader machine. So I'll talk about the machine more when I get it. It was kind of an unexpected purchase, but I know it will definitely be a lot easier for Violet to thread it herself. My current serger, even though I'm fine threading it now, it's kind of complicated, as sergers are to thread. So I'm really excited about getting the new machine. Still have not gotten the embroidery machine, but I still don't know what kind to get. So, but anyway, the serger's on the way and excited to get that. I also wanted to show you how I store my PDF patterns since I was working on that True Bias Hudson pant, and I'll show you in the side view. But most of the patterns that I order come in these 6 by 9 inch sleeves, like these new patterns that I got from Three Dog Designs. So I like to keep my PDF patterns in a similar size packet. So again, this is a 6 inch by 9 inch plastic sleeve, and obviously since it's a PDF pattern, most of the instruction pages are 8.5 by 11, or if you're in the UK, it's a slightly different sizing. But anyway, here's my print off of the pattern, and here's my pattern pieces. So I transferred all the pattern pieces for the size that we needed for these pants to Pellon True Grid, which is not really an interfacing, but it doesn't tear like paper, and you can write on it. So I write down all of the relevant information, the grain lines, and I just fold all the pattern pieces up and keep it with the pattern in that sleeve. So if you have a different way that you store your PDF patterns, let me know. Someone emailed me about this the other day. I think it was Nikki. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you how I store my PDF patterns, and I like to save all the pattern pieces for next time I make it so that I don't have to recut the pattern pieces and find my size, because I usually like to make little adjustments to the pieces. So anyway, that's how I store my PDF patterns, and those Hudson pants were a lot of fun to make. Those particular pants come in versions for children and for adults. All right, so let me see. What else are we talking about today? So I have a question for you. Let me know in the comments. Have you made any garments before? I'm curious to know. It's been, I don't want to say a year, but it could be a year since I've made a garment. So that was a lot of fun, a nice one hour project. I find it interesting when I teach to quilt guilds. A lot of the ladies that are in the quilt guild when I'm teaching a bag class tell me that they first learned to sew by making garments. And I can tell from some of their comments while we're working on the bag, because sometimes they'll say, oh gosh, I haven't used a zipper in about 20 years, that it's been a while since they've made a garment. So I think it's interesting, the progression in different projects over time. So starting with garments, maybe moving on to quilts, and then maybe bags. So I think it's interesting to see that the progression there. And I first learned how to sew as an adult with wanting to make quilts because my friends were. So I think it's just interesting the type of projects that people choose, and so I'll be interested to see in the comments if people have made garments before or not. All right, so on Tuesday's show, someone asked if I would show the Kennedy bag, and this is the Kennedy bag. This is the one and only version that I made, and when I was looking for this bag for tonight's blog post, I noticed that I designed this bag in 2013, so it's been quite a while. We're planning on doing a free video for this bag soon, and I thought when I made this bag again for the video, I'd use more neutral type of fabrics. So these fabrics obviously are really bright and colorful. I think this fabric was designed by Josephine Kimberling for Blend Fabrics, but obviously it's been a few years. I thought I'd use like a gray wool with maybe black cork straps. I'm not sure yet, but something obviously very different from this bag. So the part of the reason that I'm showing you this bag is that we have a challenge for the month of April. So the challenge that I'm posing to you is we're hoping to get, if you're watching on Facebook, we're hoping to get at least 100 shares on each of our live shows. So that's including tonight. So if you enjoy Sewcial Sunday, I hope you'll share this video on Facebook with your sewing friends. So just go ahead and hit the share button now. If you're watching on YouTube, we're hoping that you'll hit the thumbs up or the like button. So just hit the thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. And for our goal on YouTube, we're hoping to get at least 500 thumbs up or likes for each of our live videos on YouTube. If we hit our goals for the month of April for each of our live shows, we'll be showing a brand new sewing pattern and free video for a crossbody bag in 2 different sizes. I actually was working on that pattern earlier this week, and I like how it's going, but I don't have anything that I'm quite ready to show just yet. Maybe next Sunday I will. But also we're hoping to do a free video for this Kennedy bag as well, because I think it's a great messenger style bag. It could be for a man or a woman, and depending on the fabrics you choose, it could turn into something really great and personalized for the recipient. So anyway, I hope you'll help us with our challenge and meeting our goals for the month of April. All right, the new fabrics from my stash that I have to show you this week are Primavera fabrics from Hawthorne Threads. So I'm going to show you what those fabrics look like close up in the side view. So these are all floral fabrics in lots of soft colors, and the artwork is beautiful as well. So let me show you, this is kind of one of the main prints, and it has some really nice colored coordinates like this stripe, and they all look really painterly, which I think is really nice. Let me show you some more of them. Butterflies and snails. So this would be a great smaller print for either a small pouch or for the lining of a bag. And that main floral print comes in different colors as well. And I just love this one. This is so soft and pretty. Okay, and these are some prints that you've seen just in the different colorways. Here's a nice white background print, and here's another floral, mostly pink fabric. And there's 2 panel prints to this line, so basically it's the same artwork but just in different size scale. So this one's kind of the medium size, and let me show you in the front view so you can see the full piece of artwork. So this is what it looks like, and when you open the fabric up, it's got the border on each selvage, so on the front and the back, so the selvage is on the bottom. So this would be really great for a large bag like the airplane bag, which I'll be showing you in a minute for my demo later on. And let me show you the second border print, because this one's just a little bit larger than that first one. So again, the artwork is beautiful. It's a really nice large print, which you don't commonly see, and I think it would be amazing for some bags. So again, that fabric is Primavera from Hawthorne Threads. The link's in the description if you're interested in finding out more about these fabrics, and I super love these panel prints. These are just great. All right, so this is Danny's favorite portion of the chat, and we're asking for all the bag ladies and bag dudes to stand proud. Let me know in the comments if you're a bag lady or a bag dude. I certainly am a bag lady, a proud bag lady, and I love seeing all the bag lady comments. I love getting emails from people that say they're bag ladies, and especially new bag ladies who made their first projects that we enjoy seeing photos of in the Facebook group. So thanks for being supportive, and I feel like we've got a really great bag making and sewing community going online. So nice to have that support. So Danny and I last night went to, we got to go out. My parents watched the kids for a few hours, and we saw a stand-up comedy show from Kevin Hart. If you're not familiar with Kevin Hart, or maybe you are, you might have been, you might have seen him in some of his movies. I know Danny and I have seen personally the reboot of Jumanji, which I think was last year. And he was in another movie with The Rock. And even though those were certainly not my favorite movies, he sort of stood out in the movies, and he was funny in both of those movies that we've seen. So it was a few hours long comedy stand-up special. He had opening acts, which were funny as well. We went with some friends, and it was just a great night. I love going to either stand-up comedy shows or improv comedy. Here in Chicago, we have great options for both of those. For improv, we have Second City, which is downtown Chicago, and Zanies for stand-up comedy. So every few months we like to go to see some comedy, and it's a lot of fun. All right, the book review today is for a book authored by Stacey Day. The book is called Child's Play Quilts, and I'm just going to step over here and show you some of the projects in the book and talk a little bit about the instructions and whatnot. So this is what the cover of the book looks like. Again, Child's Play Quilts by Stacey Day. There's a link in the description if you're interested in finding out more. And just by looking at the index, these are the selection of projects in the book. So I feel like all of the projects, looking through them and reading the instructions, are accessible for all skill levels. And there's applique as well as piece projects over here. Okay, and of course there's templates in the back of the book, so no need to print anything out or scan anything and make it bigger. Everything's provided for you. And of course, the beginning of the book, as always, is filled with techniques on what you'll need to complete some of the projects, like for applique or piecing, choosing fabrics. So the front portion of the book has a lot of helpful and basic information. But let's get over to some of the projects so you can see more of what's in the book. So here we go. Applique comes first in the book, and I'll point out a few of my projects, favorite projects as I come to them. But just some great photography in the book. There was one photo in particular that I really loved. I'll show you when I get to it. I really love this quilt for a child. I could see myself using maybe a text background fabric in really bright colors. I love this photo. This is my favorite photo in the book. The instructions are very to the point and easy to understand. I love the idea of the scallop binding. I think this looks really cool and unexpected, and I feel like it's fitting for a quilt for a child. I love Dresden's and any kind of circular piecing, even though this is applique. I love the look of the circles. And then I love this too. And then let's get on to some of the traditional pieced projects in the book. So these are all of the projects. Again, all easily accessible for different skill levels. I like the modern fabrics used in the projects. And I like the unexpected bright pop of color too. The photographs are gorgeous. I like the idea of this quilt also for some larger scale prints, maybe motifs with animals, farmyard animals, things like that. Okay, so again, this was Child's Play Quilts by Stacey Day. If you're interested, I linked where you can buy a signed copy of the book actually, and this book just came out, so it's brand new. And Stacey has a lot of free patterns also across the internet. I'm a huge fan of her Free Spirit projects, in particular on the Free Spirit website. She does some amazing work, and I think these are really beautiful and quick quilts that you can make for a child. So again, that was my review of Child's Play Quilts by Stacey Day. So I have a question for you. Let me know in the comments. Do you like making things for children, either quilts, clothes, maybe plush stuffed animals? Let me know in the comments if you're making things for children, maybe periodically. I don't often have requests from my son to make projects for him, but my daughter always has things like those Hudson pants that I showed you earlier that she likes for me to make, or different ideas for bags. So I'm often making things for her because she seems to have a need for a specific bag to hold a certain thing, like her riding supplies or to go to Disney. So she has a different bag for each event. So tonight's demo is how to make a luggage sleeve. So I get a lot of questions in my Facebook group on how to add a luggage sleeve to a bag. So if you're not familiar with a luggage sleeve, I pulled out my suitcase just so I could show you, but this is the handle that comes up and down, and a luggage sleeve basically is just a sleeve that goes on the front of the bag between the handles usually, so that you can sort of hang the bag on the luggage handle without the bag falling down. So let me show you. It's really quick and easy how to add that luggage sleeve, and you can add it to any bag. So I went ahead and pulled out my airplane bag, which would be a common bag that you would attach a luggage sleeve to. And you always want to make and attach the luggage sleeve before you sew the handles onto the body of the bag. So that's when you would complete that process. Where did my pieces go? All right. Oh, all right. Sorry. Missing fabric pieces. Okay, so let me show you in the side view what you'll need to make that luggage sleeve. Oh, Danny, sorry. Can you switch back over to the front view?
No.
Sorry, I forgot to show you how to measure to find out how big you should make the luggage sleeve. So you want to measure approximately in between where the handles will go. So if it's your first time making this pattern and you're not quite sure where the handles will go, you'll need to wait until you reach the part in the pattern instructions where you place the handles. That way, after you pin the handles in place, you'll know where they're going to go and you'll be able to measure for that luggage sleeve. So I'm going to measure for the luggage sleeve approximately in the middle of the handle. So I'll need a luggage sleeve that's about 10.5 inches long. And I'm just going ahead and shooting for a luggage sleeve that's 6 inches wide. You can, of course, alter the height of your luggage sleeve. I just thought 6 inches was a good place to start. And again, you need to measure this as you're working on the pattern, but before you sew down the straps. Okay, so again, to the side view, let me show you the pieces of fabric that I cut out for the sleeve. So again, these are, as I measured between the handles of the airplane bag, 10.5 inches long, 6 inches wide, and I cut 2 pieces of fabric. And I attached Pellon Shape Flex interfacing to the wrong side of the fabric before I did any sewing. So again, you'll need 2 pieces of each, 2 pieces of fabric, 2 pieces of Shape Flex, and you can either use coordinating fabric to match your exterior fabric of the bag, or you can use a contrasting fabric. Okay, so I went ahead and sewed these right sides together. I sewed them, as you can see, by the red stitches, top and the bottom. I used a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then you'll just turn this right side out and press. Okay, so I don't have my iron handy, but you'll be pressing this flat. And you'll top stitch both of the finished edges using an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance just to finish those edges. So let's switch back over to the front view. So before you add these straps in place, you'll sew the luggage sleeve on. Depending where you want it, I'll probably add mine somewhere around here. And you'll just sew those 2 raw edges down. A 1/4 of an inch seam allowance is fine. The raw edges are nothing to be concerned about because you'll be covering those raw edges when you sew those straps down. So when the bag is finished, you'll have that sleeve where your luggage suitcase can just fit in. And as you can see, this was really simple and easy to put together. Just need a little bit of measuring, and then you've got your fabric and interfacing, and that's a quick, I don't know, 5-minute thing to sew. Simple to add a luggage sleeve to any bag. Okay, so before we get to the giveaway, last week's giveaway winner was Marilyn Byers. I think Marilyn was a viewer from YouTube, so congratulations, Marilyn. I contacted you on YouTube earlier today. Today's giveaway, before we get to that, let me know if you have any questions in the comments that I can answer live. I'll be answering a few of your questions before we get to the giveaway. If you have any sewing related, bag related, or sewing notion related questions, feel free to ask me in the comments, and I apologize beforehand if I don't get to all the questions. We're just going to do a few tonight, but if you have any more questions that I haven't answered, feel free to watch our show on Tuesdays, which is called Ask Sarah, and that's basically a big question and answer for the whole show. So Shanova said, hello, do you think your shop will have acrylic templates of your patterns? That's a great question. At the end of last year, while we were doing the home renovations, I started to investigate acrylic templates, and I admit I dropped the ball on the acrylic templates, but I especially wanted acrylic templates for the Minikins patterns because I feel like those are small projects. The templates would be relatively inexpensive compared to a larger bag, and the templates would help because I see people making a lot of these projects for craft fairs to sell or for gifts. If you don't have any acrylic templates before, they're basically made out of the same material that these acrylic rulers are, and they usually just have either important markings on them or the name of the pattern and the pattern piece on them. So they're really useful to have. I don't have any handy that I can grab and show you, but they're about the same thickness as the quilting rulers as well. So we'll still investigate that, I promise. Sorry that I dropped the ball, but we do want to get acrylic templates out, and I'll let you know on social media and on our live chats as soon as we have those in stock. Pamela says, what size two-way zippers do you recommend, where to buy, and what color? By two-way zippers, I'm not sure if you mean like a handbag zipper like this with the 2 zips on it. So I sell on my website 30 inches and 40-inch zippers. Another common size for handbag zippers are 24-inch zippers, although we don't have those on the website. If you're looking for those on my website, they're at sewsweetness.com. There's a big graphic in the middle of the screen for notions, and it'll be under the notions tab for those. I've lost my train of thought. Did I answer the question, Danny?
I think the zippers.
The zippers, where do I get them?
Zippers.
Okay. Sorry, thinking so much about getting caught up with that demo kind of threw me off. Marie wants to know, did you put the stainless steel corner poker in the shop yet? This is what Marie's talking about, the precision turning tool. We haven't received our shipment of these yet, but we did place the order, not this past Friday, the Friday before. So as soon as we get these in, we ordered several hundred just to make sure everyone who wanted one could order one. We'll get these listed and we'll let you know again on social media and on the live chats. I'm hoping they'll arrive and I'll have a nice surprise tomorrow, but we'll see. So hoping those arrive soon because I know a lot of people have been asking for them. Any other questions, Danny?
Yeah, there's lots.
Oh, okay. Bronwyn wants to know, what size was the airplane bag? So the pattern for the airplane bag comes in a size regular and size long. This particular one was the regular, and I've seen a lot of people make these for featherweight sewing machines. The long is just obviously a bit longer, and I have used both of the regular and the long for airplane travel, and the bags fit under the seat and they fit a lot of stuff inside. There's 2 zipper pockets on the inside, and especially if you make that luggage sleeve for the front, you'll be golden as far as going through the airport. Tamara says, great idea. We'll add this to my airplane bag at your junior treat. Yeah, I'm not sure why I didn't originally have that luggage sleeve in the pattern, but as I showed you from the demo, it's so easy to adapt it and add it to literally any bag. Any bag you want, you can add that luggage sleeve to. Nancy wants to know, how do you add rivets to bags via the open lining? I really struggled to accomplish this today. I managed to get it done, but now I need to go to confession for my language. So I'm assuming you mean when the bag's almost finished through the opening in the lining. It might be helpful, depending on the size of the bag, to add rivets while you're constructing the bag. So for instance, this Renegade bag has the rivets on the front, and I attached the rivets while I was just working on the front of the bag, so the rivets only go through this exterior fabric, just this portion. If you need to go through the lining, I've done it before. It just requires a bit of wrangling, and it depends on if you have also a tabletop press or a hand press. Mine's a tabletop press, so I just do the best I can getting it smushed in there, but definitely if you can, possibly add the rivets while the portion of the bag is still flat. So like for example, just the front and the back fabrics of the bag. All right, Chantel wants to know, will the Ultimate Art Organizer have a video this year? And I think Chantel emailed me right before the show, or at least somebody did, emailed me with the same question. Yes, I'm happy to reply that the next 4-pack video bundle coming in maybe 3 or 4 weeks, we'll have the Ultimate Art Organizer in the bundle. So it's 4 new videos with patterns. It's a 4-pack, but you can also buy those videos separately. So it'll be the Ultimate Art Organizer, the Satellite bag, which is a new bag. We kind of showed that on this past Tuesday's show. The Hyacinth bag, which we'll be filming tomorrow. And the 4th one was, I always forget which ones they are. Danny, you remember? Danny doesn't remember. Okay.
I try not to listen to you as much as possible.
Patty wants to know, will the Rockstar bag pattern in the paper version be available again? I've been checking and it's always out of stock. Unfortunately, the Rockstar bag is out of print. We have a few patterns that are out of print, and because we have to print the paper patterns in certain size quantities, which are at least 1,000, over time as the pattern gets older, some patterns just slow down in sales, and most of our paper patterns are being sold to distributors, not most people that are ordering from my website are ordering PDF patterns, so that's why we decided not to reprint that. So I apologize for that. But the the PDF pattern is always available on my website. Nancy wants to know, when is the next 4-pack of patterns coming out? We're shooting for the middle of May. I don't have an exact date yet. If I had to guess, it would be the 2nd week of May, maybe on a Monday or Tuesday. We'll be releasing that, hopefully. We have 3 more videos to shoot for that, but that's a good goal to shoot for. Pam says, I need a travel bag for my featherweight. Is the airplane bag the best one? Will be my first travel bag. Could I do it? I definitely think you could. The airplane bag has a video as well as the pattern with the full color photos, and I've for sure heard and seen people make these for featherweights. I've seen the pictures. My old sewing machine, which was a Brother machine, it was a smaller machine, but I actually fit that in the original airplane bag that I made. I think I have a photo of it on my website too on the product listing. So definitely a great bag for the featherweights. And are we good on questions, Danny? What do you think? Are there any more?
Oh, there's lots of questions.
Okay, you want to do like
16 more?
Is 5 more too much?
Hey, you're the boss.
Okay, he says I'm the boss. Amanda says a bag like the amethyst bag made for scrapbookers would be amazing. What kinds of things do you need to store for scrap? I'm not a scrapbooker, so maybe if you'll email me or let me know in the Facebook group what kinds of things are involved for scrapbooking or that you need to take with you. I'll see what I can do. I'm always happy to come up with new patterns, especially if they are great for storage, because those seem to be very popular. Denise says, I'm making my first bag this weekend and I'm using vinyl. My machine won't go through all the layers, even changing needles. What machine do you use? So I have a Juki. I have two Jukis. One's the TL2010Q and the other one is the 2200 QVP Mini. I have a video on my sewing machines, which you can find on YouTube or my website. Since you mentioned you were sewing with vinyl, I'm curious if you were using either a Teflon foot or a walking foot. If you weren't using either of those, I would suggest putting one of those on the machine, especially with the layers. Maybe the walking foot will do the trick for that. Yeah, it depends on the machine though. In the video that I did for my machine, I stacked a bunch of layers of foam and vinyl and I sewed through the layers, so it was a breeze to sew through all that. Denise says, what size rivets do you use? I almost all the time use 8mm rivets. I've used 9mm for really thick straps before, but almost always I use the 8mm. And my rivet press and rivets were from Minkus Margot, although there are also other suppliers that sell tabletop presses. And Hope wants to know, do you know what the cost will be for the turner? So the turner we're going to be selling for $15.99 plus shipping. I think shipping in the US is $2.60, but a lot of our items we offer flat rate shipping, so say if you order a bunch of different notions including the turner, the shipping will just be $2.60. If you're in the US, a little bit more for international, but this is one of my favorite notions and I can't wait till they come in. Cindy wants to know, is the last bag the one where the person quilted the black bag? That's a great, yeah. The Kennedy bag, we posted on social media today, and Baker Quilts was the Instagram handle. I think it was Katie Baker. She made this bag and she used, I think she said black marine vinyl, and she quilted it like free motion quilting with feathers. It was beautiful. So if you get a chance, either check on Instagram for today's post or on Facebook. We also posted it on Twitter, and yeah, it turned out amazing, and I actually love it better than my green bag. The quilting really makes it. It's beautiful. Lizette wants to know, do you ship to Sweden? We do ship worldwide. Sweden, Australia, we've shipped to Singapore, Japan, we've shipped everywhere. Diane wants to know, tips using directional prints, please. Directional prints just means that the design has to be used one way, like this is directional, like you want the goldfish to be facing this way and not this way. Most bags have a front and a back to them, which would be easy to use directional prints on.
I think last week you also showed tips about folding in half and cutting it, just making the right direction.
Oh, I did. Yeah, if you missed Danny's reminding me that on Sewcial Sunday last week I talked about fussy cutting, choosing fabrics for bags. So if you missed that video, just check last Sunday's Sewcial Sunday, which was April 8th. But anyway, here's another bag with directional fabric, and most designs it's pretty easy to cut the directional fabric because most bags have a front and the back. There's a few, especially a few of the minikins that use the non-directional fabric. So non-directional, I don't think I have anything handy right here. Let me pull out one of the like this fabric would be non-directional because you can use it either way. It's got little flower petals on it and it doesn't matter which direction you use it. Roxanne wants to know, will you announce when we can sign up for the September retreat on Sewcial Sunday? I will. The September retreat, we haven't put the tickets on sale yet, but it'll be September 27th through 30th in Chicago. And again, we'll announce it across all social media and on the live shows. We're hoping to do that. Danny, what do you think? Sometime this week? Next week?
Soon.
Soon? Okay.
Don't forget, we have like 1 or 2 tickets left for
we have a couple tickets left for the June retreat as well. June is June 21st through the 24th in Chicago. And there's, I think, 3 tickets left for that retreat. Okay, so thanks so much for joining me for Sewcial Sunday. I had a lot of fun tonight. If you had any other questions that we didn't get to, giveaway.
When you forgot to.
Sorry, Danny's. I'm losing it today. Okay, so the giveaway for today is for that copy of Child's Play Quilts that I showed during my book review portion. and a big stack of Tula Pink Eden fabrics. So these are from her out of print Eden fabric line. So you'll receive the fat quarter stack as well as the book. One randomly chosen winner will choose the winner at the end of the day this Saturday. And all you have to do to enter the giveaway is answer this question. Let me know, how many scissors do you own? So just type it in the comments, how many scissors do you own? I counted up my scissors before the chat tonight, and I have 9 scissors, and that includes my duckbill scissors, sewing scissors. I have 2 paper scissors in here. Yeah, I have 9. So I don't have a good excuse when people take my scissors, but they always seem to go missing, and then especially my fabric scissors, I have to go looking for those quite often. So let me know in the comments how many scissors you own, and thanks so much for joining me for Sewcial Sunday.
1 second, Sarah.
Okay.
Your Instagram show Tuesday.
We're going to be starting, I know you're joining me on Facebook and YouTube already. We're going to be doing an additional live chat on Instagram for those of the audience that just uses Instagram, or if you use both. It'll be a similar chat to Ask Sarah, and it'll be right before our Ask Sarah chat on Facebook and YouTube. So the Instagram live chat will be 6:30 p.m. Central Time. We'll be doing it this Tuesday. And obviously, since people ask questions and that directs the chat, it might be different content than the Tuesday chats on YouTube and Facebook, but I'm hoping to have some live guests. The nice thing about Instagram is that you can have people ask questions and you can see them ask their questions live.
They can drop in the Instagram.
Drop in. Danny says that's called a drop-in feature. So that's the nice thing about the Instagram live chats, and I might have some friends call in if I can get maybe Tula or Alison Glass or someone else fun to drop in on the Instagram live chats. Who knows? So if you need another dose of Sew Sweetness, and we hope you'll tune in on Instagram. That's this Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Okay, are you going to stop me, or am I okay to close out the chat, Danny? No comment from Danny. Okay, so thanks so much for joining me for Sewcial Sunday. I'll see you again next Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Time, and happy sewing.